The RV Show USA is brought to you by Flagstaff, building better RVs, making smarter RVers.
You know, when it comes to buying a new RV, buyers today have never been more price conscious, and it seems like we are all looking for the best price we can get, even if it means driving several hundred miles to get it. But over the long run, is that really a good strategy? That's the main question I have today with Territory Manager from Flagstaff Rockwood Division of Forest River. So as somebody that's been in the industry his entire life, what do you think of RV buyers? I mean, there's a couple of different approaches. Some people want to buy from a local dealer. Other people are very price conscious, and they're buying off the internet. What's the difference, and what are the advantages, disadvantages to each, if you would?
All right. Well, yeah, I think that there are reasons why people gravitate one way or the other. The dealers might just be the proximity of being in the area. They have recommendations from friends and family, and they maybe potentially see these dealers at a show. Whereas the appeal on the internet many times is just related to the price. Maybe they have some availability of products they're showing that intrigue them, but it's important that you fully understand what you get out of both scenarios.
Well, give me an example, Brett, because as an example, I hear people that they say, "Man, I could save $500 or even more than $1,000, but it's going to take me a couple of days to drive up there to get the RV." What can go wrong in that scenario? Because I hear a lot of stories. What can go wrong with buying an RV, a new RV, over the internet?
Well, I think that the first of all is this price difference that is perceived is not always all that you think it is. Traveling requires taking time away from work. That costs money. You have the expense of hotels and gas money to get there. The bottom line that the trailer is going to cost once you leave the lot, a lot of times isn't discovered until you get to the dealership. So I think it's important that customers understand that you need a full disclosure of all the components of purchasing the trailer be laid out. The cost of the financing, whether there's going to be additional charges for setup gear, your battery, your LP. Is there a charge for the walkthrough and the PDI of the trailer? All these things may be part of the price that you had discussed with your local dealer. I think another thing that people overlook is the fact that the dealer in your area has had to put some additional money into the freight charge of getting the trailer there. It's convenient to have it right there, and you don't have to go after it. But also, he has a service department that he has staffed and has put parts and equipment into to take care of customers that purchase from their dealership. The cost of doing a business in your local area, you can judge by your cost of living, may be greater than where you're looking at on the internet. But all this is legitimate expense to the dealer, but a responsible dealer will establish his prices so that he is profitable enough to be able to stay in business and to be there for his customers and to provide service down the road.
One of the things I often hear is that people are surprised. They think, like you just said a couple minutes ago, but here's the price. Oh yeah, that's the price you're paying. But then there's all these other up charges, and by the time they get out of the dealership and they look at the time they spent to drive to Indiana or wherever they went to go and buy the RV, they're spending at least as much or sometimes more. What you're looking for is I think is called the out the door price. It's the total kit and caboodle. And am I right?
Yeah, no, that is correct. And that is where some of the disappointment comes from. I was in a position here a few years ago where I dealt with numerous customers that contacted us via the internet or even on phone calls. But that was one of their frustrations. They just didn't feel like they got everything they expected. And, quite often I would just say, hey, if you're going to go to that distance to get the best price, that may very well be all that you end up getting is the best price. It doesn't mean you're going to have the best experience when it comes to being educated on the trailer, being covered with service, on a timely manner, and those kind of things. So, there are good dealers that do business over the internet, and they do it the right way. Just have to make sure that you're asking all the right questions to be sure you're landing with one of those type of dealers.
Because if you don't ask those right questions and then you drive to wherever you're going to buy the thing and all of a sudden these things start adding up, it's not the dealer's fault. I mean, could the dealer maybe say, well, look, we got to charge you this for the LP tanks. We got to charge you, so much for the delivery or the PDI. But the buyer has to assume a lot of that responsibility. I say if all you want is price and you don't care about service after the sale, you don't care about relationships, then maybe the internet is the best place for you. But like you said, there's good dealers that sell on the internet and some that aren't so good, and it's hard to tell the difference sometimes.
That's right. And the other thing, I think you got to judge by your experience as a RV owner. If this is your second or third, you pretty much know what you're doing. You don't need a lot of instruction, then maybe you're better positioned to capitalize what you think is a good price. But if you are looking to have people give you advice on what type of hitch to put on, the equalizer hitch, stabilizer bars, if you're looking for advice on how to tow, you need full instruction how to operate the camper. It sure is awful nice to have somebody that is in your area that you can get the walkthrough, take your time because you don't have a schedule to get back home. You also can go back. You can just drop in on your way driving by and ask more questions and just get a better understanding of what you're doing. So I think that the first-time buyers, really need to consider getting that full treatment that they are going to need to enjoy their camper.
Because I think a lot of these people, a lot of the first-time buyers, and it's not that they're stupid. It's just they just don't know. We don't know what we don't know, and we look and we say, oh, my gosh, I can save that much money and drive to such and such a place. But especially for a newbie, you're going to need that relationship with the dealer, somebody that you can count on because you will have a lot of questions. And so, you can get a good RV by driving a long ways, but you've got to really be careful at what dealer you select. And that's why I think online reviews can be so valuable. Right.
And this is why you have your show. I mean, it's to educate people, and this is something that maybe you don't think of as needing to get educated on, but you're going to be much happier if you have full disclosure on everything you're facing when you're making a purchase like this.
So if you were hoping for a definitive answer to which is best, where to buy your RV from a local dealer or from a low internet ad, the answer, as Brett said, well, it all depends. New RVs are not like cars and trucks. They do require maintenance. If you are an experienced RVer that's willing to make certain repairs on your own, driving a ways to save money can make a lot of sense. It also makes sense if you find a reputable dealer, one that'll give you an out-the-door price over the phone. My bottom line on driving a ways to save money is to make 100% certain you have the total out-the-door price in writing, the total price before you even start that drive. Otherwise, it's probably best to buy local. Remember, when you purchase an RV, you're also buying a relationship with the dealer. You'll likely have questions after your purchase, and you may need some service work as well. And that's when you'll truly understand just how important that dealer relationship is. If you have a question that you'd like me to ask the manufacturer or a topic you'd like to have discussed, call our 24-hour voicemail. Leave us a voicemail message. You got up to 3 minutes to do it. Telephone number 1-330-WINGMAN. That's right, 1-330-WINGMAN. And that's me, Alan Warren, the RV Wingman with the RV Show USA, back after this.